All right, this video, we're going to talk about something pretty cool, and that's inline graphics. They're graphics that are in line with your type, and they're fairly simple to manage. You can get complex, really complex with them as well. But I'm just going to start with small steps, and we're going to deal with something simple. So let's say, just for illustrative purposes, that all of these little bullet points that I have, maybe I'm bored with those. What a snooze, what a yawn, bullet points. We see them all the time. Let's spice it up a little bit. Now, I did just grab any random graphic. I grabbed a key and I took it into Illustrator and modified it. So I'm going to go to File and Place, and I'm going to get this Adobe Illustrator key that I created and put it into InDesign. Now, it's much larger than what I could ever need for an inline graphic. So I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm holding down what keyboard shortcut to do this, to increase and decrease it proportionally? Shift, Command, click and drag. If you're on a PC, Shift, Control, click and drag, right? Okay, now if this looks really pixelated, does that mean that this is a low resolution graphic?
No.
It's an Illustrator file. I just told you guys it's an Illustrator file. Is Illustrator pixel based? No, it's vector based. So if this drives you batty to see pixels, right click on the object and go to display performance and make it high quality, and it'll make it pretty. Okay, now we're ready to place this as an inline graphic. Now this is just, I put it out in the pasteboard, it's not in a type box or anything. So I created the graphic and I'm making it about as big as I want to use it. So this is why I've nestled it somewhat close to the type. Like, that feels about right. Now, if this is too small, too detailed and too small, people will wonder, you know, what's that speck on there? So inline graphics, you have to be careful about what shapes you're using. It might just might look like some weird speck. So I'm going to cut this, which is Edit, Cut, or Command X, Control X on the PC. Cut, copies, and deletes it. Okay? Because I don't need it out there. I'm going to put my cursor and highlight this bullet point. I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to paste. My cursor is blinking. I'm in a type box. I hit Command V or Control V on a PC and I paste it in there. Might hit the space bar. You can highlight these inline graphics and you can apply a little bit of character formatting. If they're too high or too low, you can modify things like the baseline shift. And you could indeed make a character style for that if you wanted to. Usually what I do, though, is I just copy them and paste them. And now I have a little bit more interesting bullet point feature than I might have had before. So what do you think? Now, the only problem with this key, I probably should have rotated it horizontally, because when this is small, people might read that as a number 1 or an L or something. So again, be careful about these inline graphics and whether they might be misread as an object other than what they are. You can rotate them right in the box after you've put it in there. And then I might adjust, I might adjust the baseline shift on this again so that it feels a little bit better. So instead of doing it on all of them, I'll just copy and paste him into position. So we do have to be careful that we don't get something in there that can be misread as an actual number or letter. Okay? So that's inline graphics. You can also place a really large picture within the type as well. You just sometimes end up with some text wrap issues, so inline graphics you have to use kind of judiciously. I don't use them a lot, but they are fun to customize certain things.
Is there a way to change the wrap on them?
Is there a way to change the wrap on them? If I click on the object and I go to Window and Text Wrap, you can tell it to increase the wrap on it, and it will make the type run away from it. So I've used the second item, which is wrap around the bounding box, and I have increased how much it's wrapping from one side or another. Now these are all linked together. If you only wanted it to wrap on the left, you can uncheck the chain or make sure you break the chain, and you can tell it, hey, I need this to push on the left. Now, since I rotated it, it doesn't know, it gets a little confused. The left on this means its original left before I rotated it. So this can get a little confusing if you rotate something. It's the original position. Okay, so I'm hitting increase it on the top, and you're like, but that's the left. Well, it really was the top of the original scan that I placed. So that can be a little confusing. I try to rotate stuff while I'm in the software, like in Illustrator. I should have rotated that horizontally and then placed it instead of placing it vertically and then rotating it, because I am having confusion. Even though it's pushing it on the left, technically that is the top of the graphic prior to me rotating the graphic. So what do you think about inline graphics? Pretty exciting? There's some potential there, isn't there? Yay! Okay, I'm going to stop that recording. That's a short one.